In 1942, German U-boats transformed the Gulf of Mexico off Louisiana's coast into a killing zone. American ships were defenseless outside the Mississippi River. Ships routinely slowed to a stop near the river's mouth to pick up a river pilot. Retired pilot Albro Michel remembers that the practice ended when a torpedo struck a fully loaded fuel tanker.
The ship was dead stop and it was just going to drop the yawl and pull over to her. She went up in flames. One more second and the pilot and the boatman would have been gone.
It was a dark and deadly time for American seamen. Martin Morgan of the National D-Day Museum puts the attacks in perspective.
The Gulf Sea frontier in May 1942 had 41 sinkings. That was higher than any other frontier zone on the face of the planet for any other one-month period during the entire war.
In July of '42, Marshal Charlton was a merchant marine cadet on his way back to New Orleans from his first voyage. His ship, the Robert E. Lee, was overloaded with survivors from other submarine attacks.
There were very few people that stayed in their cabins at night. Everybody stayed on deck, so just in case we got hit, that they would have a chance to get out.
The Robert E. Lee had a single escort, a patrol craft from the naval base at Burwood in Plaquemines Parish. They were 45 miles from the mouth of the Mississippi River when the Navy crew spotted a torpedo's wake. Roy Fisher was manning the sonar on the PC-566.
I estimated where the torpedo had come, the direction it had come from, and trained around there and had contact with the sub.
Marshal Charlton was typing a report when the torpedo slammed into the Robert E. Lee's engine room.
As soon as I got hit, the typewriter jumped, hit in my lap. And I was supposed to be on the bridge with the first mate and our reporter up there, and I said, "What do you want me to do?" And he said, "Then get your ass to your lifeboat station," which I did.
Today, the telegraph from the bridge of the Robert E. Lee stands on the bottom of the Gulf. Charlton had reported to this station moments after the torpedo hit. For Captain Barton Holmes, this was the second time in 3 weeks that a torpedo had put him in a lifeboat.
When you see people that you know, shipmates, killed, wounded, why was I spared? I had a man standing right alongside of me on one ship, had half his face shot away. Why didn't it hit me? It hit him, but didn't hit me. You wonder.
Navy records say the Robert E. Lee sank in just 3 minutes.
It was sinking. It was going like this. In fact, when the last thing I saw of that ship, when we out there in the water, was going down stern first, and you could see the guy doing the bow of the boat. Yeah, it stopped fast.
The PC-566 charged the submarine. They could see its periscope. When the patrol craft was on top of the U-boat, it launched a pattern of 5 depth charges. But for 59 years, the crew of the PC-566 never knew if they had scored a hit.
Other than the oil, there was no indication. Although I know some of us wondered how they could have missed it, seeing it that close. But we never knew.
The patrol craft shifted its focus to saving the lives of more than 400 people who abandoned ship. Charlton remembers sitting with other survivors on the crowded deck of the patrol craft.
There were a lot of sharks in the water, so I said, "Ooh, look at the sharks," and the guy on ship tipped like that, and like to capsize the ship. Everybody run to see the sharks. But
it was about this time that Captain Albro Michel and the other river pilots got an urgent call for help.
Come on out right away, because we overloaded.
It would take the pilots until nearly dark to reach the rescue site and begin transferring survivors onto their boat, the Underwriter.
But fortunately, it was dead calm. If it had been rough weather, I don't know how we would have made it there. Because people jumping from one boat to the other, both boats rocking and pitching.
25 passengers and crew from the Robert E. Lee died that day. For more than a half century, history has told us a different story about the disappearance of the U-166. 2 days after the Robert E. Lee was torpedoed, a Coast Guard patrol plane out of Homa spotted a U-boat in the Gulf. That plane dropped a single depth charge on the diving German sub. That account has led C.J. Christ of Homa on a 35-year search for the missing U-166. He didn't know until the sub was found this summer, a mile from the Robert E. Lee, that the plane had missed a different sub. Christ is now convinced that the U-boat spotted by the Coast Guard plane was probably the U-171. That sub's captain reported such an attack.
And he recalled that he was attacked by a Flugzeug mit Wasserbomben, an airplane with a water bomb or depth charge, and then he goes on to say, no damage.
Roy Fisher and a few of his crewmates from the PC-566 have lived long enough to see history rewritten.
Well, a feeling of satisfaction, I would say. If that was the one that sunk the Robert E. Lee, and apparently it was, I'm just glad it's down there.
Words that seem harsh today, but reflect another time when America was under attack, its sailors and civilians being killed at sea. Dave McNamara, Eyewitness News, Night Watch.